All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday once again. Here we are this afternoon, shortly after 2:30 p.m. That is Eastern time, as always. Great to see Rajan still with us here, and alongside him, we got Linda and Michael, and a few more of us rejoining us inside our live trading room. Just give me a quick sound check, folks. Make sure that I'm good to go across all ends here inside our live trading room and on YouTube, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. All of our social media streams and platforms alike, that being at Cyber Trading View. Just always look to hit the follow or subscribe button, especially on YouTube right there. But great to see Alex and Eric just joining us as well. Mark and Roger, Amy as well. Of course, Linda with us from earlier, and Michael. All right, so, hey, still on PLTR, right? This has been a phenomenal trade the entire day, up and down and then back up. I'll tell you what, my man Lawrence crushed it on the short actually earlier today. So you could have made money on the way down. I was looking for this short at one point in time, but just that's all right. Right place, wrong time. Ended up dropping later on. And well, now at this point, obviously working its way back up towards not just the high of the day today. This is not just the HOD for today, 2185, this purple line. But we covered this in Traders Talk less than 5 hours ago. We'd covered this 4 hours ago at 11 o'clock Eastern time. We had covered this earlier this morning. This is a 52-week high, to be exact, literally on the nose at 2185, back from November 21st. And then here we are again today. So I think that we can go up more. I think that we can get up to 22. I just mentioned it to one of our new students just earlier. And it's something that we need to always reiterate because we always have new members joining us. But it's a never-ending conversation, really, just with all of us, where smart money is not going to be trading every 5 pennies. This is actually a very liquid stock. So you might call 35, 36,000 pretty big, 45, 46,000 here, pretty big, especially compared to other stocks that have thinner liquidity. But with what's ahead at 18 bucks, you know what? Just to make there at 18 bucks, I'm sorry. With what's ahead at 22 bucks, I'm mixing up my tickers here. Well, at 22 on PLTR, you can see about 883,000 shares currently sitting there right now. I could show that on Bookviewer even, level 3. Just expediting the story here. You can see it right here on level 4, this big red line going across, and it represents 883 plus thousand shares, on the sell side at that price. So I'm looking for it to make a move up towards there easily enough. Just going to put Palantir back on our list here for the afternoon. Great play from this morning in pre-market. Great play from this morning after the market opened. And now making a pretty good play off 2150. So right now I'm in this from 62. I took a small loss on it just before on the first attempt. It didn't drop lower to where I thought it might bounce from, right, Rajan? And then from there, just pushed back up. So if it's not going to break any lower, I thought that there was a case in which there's only one other way it's going to go, right? So I didn't want to chase, but I took it off the consolidation that was built here. So let's see what else we can get. I'm going to definitely come back to this by the end of this meeting. Obviously, it's on our list already, and I'm just going to check in with this here as we continue to go through, if you look on the bottom right. So let's go from top to bottom here now otherwise. We got a bunch of cheapies here near the top of the list. We actually skip over the first two below $1, so pretty much we're going to skip over those for now. MDVL. I thought Linda had mentioned this one earlier, right? Unless if it just broke out just right after she had mentioned that. It wasn't looking as great at first, but now this is looking really good. Just popped, made a new HOD. Just be careful of how thin the volume is on the order book. For a cheap stock like this, you shouldn't really even be seeing a spread like 3 or 4 cents like this. So I'll add it. Looks good now. Oh, that's MDVL. You can't see it right now on my notepad. Dyslexied it. All right. EQ, another one. This one's really choppy for $1 stock. Pretty similar where the order book is a bit thin here and there. Not looking as sharp. We'll pass on that. Pass on this. There's a lot that we'll pass on here coming up pretty much because, at least from the morning session, a lot of these stocks are washed up, made their move already, or they're just consistently just trading low volume. They're not really as worth it. AGFY was a great example of that this morning. Stock made a nice pop in pre-market. I thought there was a case for this to run higher, and obviously it didn't. So if it's not going to make that big move shortly after, there's only one other way it's going to go. We say that here in pre-market, but then even after the open, it looks like it tried. It tried to build up off $1. Same rules apply. If it's not going to make that extended higher high off of one as support, Well, it's going to pull back below 1 again. And it's not just going to lay there as resistance. It's going to make a big move the other direction. So, yeah, that's where you got to be careful. Michael, I saw watching ALT just before, had a good pop earlier today. We were doing just fine on Palantir. So I don't care about missing stocks as long as there's something that is really there for the taking that we're watching at that time. So Palantir was that trade. ALT also made a pretty good move. It's holding pretty nicely near the highs, so that part I do like, and we're familiar with the stock. I'll slip it on our main list for now, give it a quick look. You got KOD, you got Save, actually, Spirit Airlines, with all the stuff going on with them the last month or so, last few weeks. They got earnings coming up Thursday morning. Just write that down. Thursday morning, Spirit Airlines earnings. Normally day before earnings, I typically don't trade it. So tomorrow, I'm probably going to be more hesitant. It's hard to ignore this move, though, here. Ended up just pushing up and up and up all throughout the day. At this point now, for this afternoon session, I don't mind it. Probably be a bit slower tomorrow. That's my expectation, at least there. Laser at the high of the day. It's a little slow. Nice, cheap stock, tradable. Say the same on AMC. AMC, I feel like so many people follow or watch because of what happened back in 2020. With good reason. Great reason there. But when it's looking as flat as it has been the last few hours, it's just a little tough. I mean, I like the fact that it's at the highs technically, a lot closer to the highs compared to where it started this morning. So, it doesn't hurt us with putting AMC on our watch list. But as far as is this like the best stock out there? Does this look strong? It's been flat for 2 hours. So you got to see this begin to break resistance. And then from that point, at least flip that into support. It's possible, but even at that stage, you got to see it make a stronger reaction as we head towards the market close. That's really where we should be seeing better action within the market. All right, so Mara dropping off a tiny amount here. I may look to move my stop up or just hit the eject button if it really just shakes a little bit more towards my entry price. But let's see what else we can grab here. It has been a very fun day altogether, though, on PLTR, Mara. We had a couple good trades there earlier today. All right, got Chris, CHRS, not Chris M in our chat board, but this stock actually we've seen trade in the past a little bit on and off of news. So, more or less, it looks like it's taken a huge hit long term, but you can see gap downs, gap ups. We've seen it on the gainers and losers list in the past. Again, not terrible order book. It's actually a great order book, in fact. Let's just see if there's anything looking even a little bit more lively, maybe. A little bit more lively. I wouldn't mind adding this at the end. I just feel like there's like 20 or 30 stocks that look like this, and you don't want to add all of them on our watch list at this point. But let's see if there's anything else looking even better. Maybe as a short, maybe down enough to look for a dead cat bounce here. Wow, Sun W, really? This ended up dropping off as much as it has been over the last year and change. Geez, you take your eyes off a stock for a little while. Well, we're done with that. We're done with this. I'm not expecting this to dead cat bounce, at least looking at this chart right now. So it's down enough percentage-wise, maybe you could think it, but I don't feel like we're going to get that. FN, RMBS, this is actually at the lows. And, it's right at support, psychological level, you'd say as well, $5 incremental price at 55. A little more expensive of a trade, but RMBS, Rambus, don't know what the company does here, but see if this can continue to pull back lower, break lower off 55. And in the event where it's a false breakdown, then maybe you can get your dead cat bounce there. But follow the trend first, I'd say, on this one. All right, so I think that's pretty much going to wrap up from my side here. I'll check out Benzinga Pro. We'll see if there's anything else looking good from there. But again, all hands on deck for all of us inside our live trading room. Kathleen, John, Michael, Grant, Leda, Ravina, all of our students there. Just let me know if anything is looking good. On social media, got the bagel right now. Got a lot of us joining us, at least on Facebook and YouTube together. So at Cyber Trading U once more, just make sure that you're followed and subscribed. We just did a free workshop just earlier today. It's on our YouTube channel, just recorded right there. So make sure to subscribe to at Cyber Trading U so you can fall back on that workshop. We had Benzinga Pro with us just last week. So a lot of events we've covered over the last couple of weeks here even. Linda says, yeah, pretty thin. And I'm sure that's referring to this trade, if anything, right? It is a little thin, but spread's been pretty tight. That's like the selling point for me here. There's a big difference between like thin versus thick order book versus spread. You want to have a thick order, thick order book in terms of just filled in orders, but the spread is just also pretty important. I don't mind this being thin as long as the spread is tight. If this is thin and the spread is 20 cents, like DWAC, it's like, all right, well, that's obviously off the table. All right, so MDVL is popping up a little bit more. That's already on our list. I like that. Ooh, big pop just now on Kohl's KSS. It just popped up on my Benzinga scanner here. I didn't know it was like a news pop, though. There we go. All right. Got a little breaking news here. That's my breaking news music. KSS, what do we got here? Former Canada Prime Minister's hedge fund pushes Kohl's to sell itself. That is the headline that I got for you right here. This just pumped out at 2:40 Eastern time just a minute ago right now, and that's the news. I mean, hey, news promotes volume and volatility alike, so I'll take it. I'll add this to our watch list here. Hopefully there's more of a reaction coming up afterwards. If this is just a pop and drop, then so be it, then move on. But let's see if this could build support and break higher later. ADVM. Wow, this thing is just on a tear. The last like 4 days in a row, you'd figure at some point this would have a red day, not just a pullback. But yeah, it's hard to ignore this trade once again. So both of those I just found from Benzinga Pro Scanner. Really good software, at least there. But you know what? I like both of those trades. Not a whole lot else I was a fan of going into this meeting. So, the go-to trade completely fell off right at 10:30 Eastern time, in fact. So perfect with the cyber clock. My Palantir popping back up. Don't want to jinx it, but we're looking good once again there. So I'll tell you, I like what we got here at this point, folks. Don't forget about Spirit. Don't forget about AMC. Again, Kohl's just popped off in news. There's a lot to work with here. I like what we got. All right. So, hey, let's start and stick with this watch list here. And then from at that point, we'll be back on the mic coming up in just about 18 or 20 minutes, folks. Just for all of us in chat, just make sure if you have any questions, feel more than free to just send a private message, private chat to us throughout the day, instant message where it's just you and myself or you and Rich or even Fausto when he's here. He'll be back on Thursday this week. But nonetheless, though, just any questions you got, don't wait. Feel free to just let us know right now, and we're more than happy to help you at least up until the market close. And for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, etc., of course, just join our trading room to get the full service. But any questions that you got for myself, I'll just type my email address here in the chat board as we finish. Josh at ctutrading.com is the handle. Just let me know if there's any questions or trades you'd want to go over as well. All right, folks. But otherwise, best of luck trading for all of us here collectively, and we'll be back on coming up here pretty shortly coming up. Take care.